I'm Danny Barnes with the CCAA, and I'm joined right now by the head coach of the San Francisco State men's basketball team, Vince Inglima. How you doing today, Coach?
Good, Danny. Good to be here.
Fantastic. Well, you're definitely a well-traveled guy and all over the place. Coming back from Hawaii right before this, that was the way you guys closed out. I call it kind of the first half of the year, kind of the unofficial first half of the season, as we all the teams are on a little bit of a break during this time. But you guys closed out the first half of the year at 7-5 and went 2-1 over in Hawaii. So maybe you could give us just a little summary of how those first 12 games went.
Yeah, I thought, we knew we were going to have that tough stretch of road games, starting our first four conference games on the road, and then going to Hawaii. So we kind of had seven straight on the road, and so it was important to us to have a good start, and we did. We were real successful at home, and which was good, and we kind of things were clicking, and then we hit some bumps in the middle as we kind of started conference. We had a couple injury issues and just kind of some teething issues. When you got new guys that come in and play their first CCAA games, a lot of times that jump is more significant than they anticipate, and so we had a little bit of that. And but I thought what's been really great is I feel like I've seen a lot of growth as a unit throughout our 12 game stretch, and it kind of came, in Hawaii. We played our first two games, we played really well, and two very tough teams, a really high level NAIA team from the Midwest, and then Alaska Fairbanks, and had two really solid good wins, and we fought hard and got those. And then the last day in Hawaii, the third game in 3 days, we kind of laid an egg in the first half, but proud of us fighting back in the second half to kind of get that back to a one possession game, but just a little bit too much for us. But on the whole, really proud of the growth of the team, the trajectory, and now as we kind of come back, this is the stretch where we got to start having those growth moments translate into larger and longer stretches of good basketball.
You mentioned some of those growth moments on that. Have some of those ones transferred over to the strengths for your team? And if you were to kind of define what are a couple strengths of your team, what would you say they are this season?
Yeah, I think defensively, that we've been pretty consistently, other than a couple lapses for some stretches, we've been pretty effective on the defensive end, communicating well, covering a lot of ground. We're pretty rangy and athletic, and so we've been able to be difficult to score on for the most part, which has kind of held us through some of our dry spells offensively. And one issue we've been having is just we have not moved the ball well as a unit. We just, like, the ball kind of gets a little bit sticky. We're having trouble finding that next open man and kind of getting the ball moving or whipping it around the court and using two sides. And so that's been a challenge for us. It's something but that's something we've gotten a lot better at as we've gone. And we're just kind of finding and letting the ball do a lot of the work instead of trying to create everything off the bounce or individually or in the ball screen, create all the opportunities, right? Hitting the gap, drawing two, snapping the ball to the next guy, letting the ball get some people open, make the drives a little bit easier. And so, that's been a big focal point for us through most of this year. And we're starting to see, right, we're kind of turning the corner on that. And we're starting to have a lot more good possessions where the ball's really flowing, it's getting through hands quickly, and it's resulting in much easier scoring opportunities.
Obviously, you're a coach and you always want to have everything get a little bit better, as you mentioned on that one. But I appreciate you giving us that insight, especially as the movement on the ball. Right now, I look through the stats. Obviously, there's more to it than just what the numbers show, but I see you guys are second in the conference right now in 3-point percentage, about 35%. And you guys are also fourth in 3-point percentage defense. So you usually think that kind of on both ways, you talk about moving the ball. Usually the 3-pointers seem to come from pretty good ball movement, and the other side of, being in the face when the other team has some ball movement. So I understand that one, but can you tell me maybe has helped with, is it you guys have some just really good 3-point shooters, or what's helping with the offense? I mean, with that side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it's well, last year we were 12th in 3-point shooting percentage in the conference. So that was a big focal point for us as a team, in recruiting and finding guys to shoot the ball better, but also in just as a team, how are we going to generate better opportunities? So it's been a big emphasis, and it's trending in the right direction. I think we've had some really good games, and we value paint touches, and we really talk a lot about getting your feet in the paint and finding open guys, whether that's cutters or 3-point shooters. And so really we've been putting a bigger emphasis on that, on not just getting in the paint to score, but hey, getting 2 feet in the paint and now finding that next guy and letting that ball do the work. And we've been shooting it pretty well, and honestly, our best 3-point shooter has been struggling in Jonah Roth. So I still think we have, when he's going to click, because he can really shoot the ball. When he can get going as well, I think there's still room for growth in that area.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that insight. That's great to hear on that kind of stuff. The other one that I looked at when I saw the numbers on that one, and as you talked about kind of bringing in more players to the team, maybe changing up some of that one with getting some more 3-point shooters. I see you guys are third right now in the conference in bench scoring. You guys are scoring almost 27 points off your bench. Has that been kind of a early season strategy for you to get more people experience, and then later in the year you tighten up the rotation, or do the Gators hope to play with kind of a deeper rotation maybe than some teams do this year?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't really a conscious plan. It's got, we've had some guys playing really well and really efficiently off the bench for us, and I think it's been a really nice strength for us. We've had a couple games where we've kind of come out really flat, and that bench unit has come in and really kind of righted the ship, and then allowed our starters to come back in and then kind of push it back even better. And so we're a deep rotation team. We got 9, 10, maybe 11 guys who can really be effective on the court, whether they're going to score 25 points or something, right? Who knows on a given day, but just can go in and be productive. And I think some of these guys have been really, Alex Gillott and Devin Jackson have been 2 guys off the bench who really embraced what their job is and played to their strengths when they're in the game. And you can tell by their plus minuses when they're in the game, like, we are better when they're on the court, not because they're putting up these huge numbers, but they're always just continuing to make correct decisions and doing the right thing. And John Bakke is just a huge energy guy off the bench for us. And he comes in and he just changes the pace of the game. He's so aggressive. He's so physical and athletic that, he comes in and gives us that burst at times. Donovan Jackson is another, Donovan Cooks, sorry, Devin Jackson, Donovan Cooks. They're both from the same high school. I get confused sometimes. But Donovan's been a real dynamic guard off the bench for us. And so we have a lot of pieces and a lot of different combinations that we can throw at different teams in different situations. So it's definitely been a strength.
I got to throw out one other name at you, somebody else that stood out, just especially in the stats. He's right now leading the conference in double-doubles with 4 on the season. Jalen Daniel Dalton, coming off, he's right now the CCAA Player of the Week after your great performance over in Hawaii. Could you talk about what he's added to your team and what, I don't want to give away too much, but what other people might see him during the CCAA schedule this year?
Yeah, I don't know how long this interview is. I can go on and talk a lot of great things about Jalen. He has just been the anchor for us in all aspects. It just he solidifies everything that we do. He shoots the ball well. He finishes the ball well around the basket. He sees the court and passes it well. He defends with great physicality and intensity. He plays hard every possession. He's always smiling. He's got a great attitude. He's a great teammate. Like he's just a treat in all aspects, and he really embodies everything that we value as in our program and at our university. And so he's been phenomenal. He's a real. He's just a gamer. He makes plays. He's one of those guys that you don't really have to call a bunch of plays for get him going and get him points. It's just he's going to go out there and he's going to make a play for himself. He's going to get an offensive rebound, or he's going to get the ball, rip a rebound in transition and take it coast to coast. And so he has his hand on so many possessions for us, and really kind of steadies us in our tough times, but is willing to, when another guy has a hot hand, he's very willing to kind of feed that guy to get him going. And so he's been great in all our aspects, and we're just trying to continue to get him growing and keep him getting better, because I still think there's more to do for him, more for him to show as well.
Well, awesome. Excited for San Francisco State and the CCAA. Like you said, always better to have everybody elevate those levels. The rising tide raises all ships. So that's great. All right. You talked a lot good about your guys, but I am going to put you on the spot for a couple rapid fire questions here at the end to close out our interview. So we want to learn a little bit more about your team and a little bit more even about you. So who is the best one-on-one perimeter defender on your team?
Best one-on-one perimeter defender, Caleb Oden. He is long, athletic. He's difficult for little guards to shoot over, but he's got the physicality to take the bigger guys as well.
Love it. Who is the best rebounder on your team?
Jalen Daniel Dalton, man. That guy goes and gets them wherever they are. I love it.
Okay. Would you as a coach rather score 90 or hold a team below 50?
Well, I'm a below. I don't know much about scoring 90, so I'm going to go with below 50. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot more fun getting stops for me.
Okay. What is your favorite practice drill?
Oh, shoot. One thing, we have this, it's just a silly warm-up drill where we play passing tag. It's passing tag where the offense has to pass the ball, and they can't dribble, and they got to be able to tag all the runners before, in a certain amount of time. And so it's really just a fun drill. Everybody gets really into it, but you got to have quick decision making, and you got to move and relocate. And so it's a fun one.
I love it. Okay. This one has only gone out to one part to all the other coaches, but because you were unique and had an opportunity to play in the CCAA, I got two. This is a two-part question for you then. Where is the toughest place to play for you? Okay, in the CCAA, where was the toughest place for you to play as a player?
I'm dating myself a little bit, but back at Cal Bakersfield, when they were in the league at Rabobank Arena, and they put 2,500 people in that place, it was a really awesome environment, and they were really good in that time as well. And so I would say at Bake was the toughest spot, although we had some success down there.
I love it. Where's the toughest place for you to play at now?
Well, shoot. Well, emotionally for me, it's Sonoma State, having played at Sonoma and knowing so many people up there, and Rich kind of has my number right now. But there's a lot of a lot of really good home teams in the CCAA. So I feel like they're all tough places to win.
Yeah. Sounds good. No, I appreciate it very much, Coach. Thank you for just taking a little time, just giving us a little insight into the Gators, especially looking back on the first half of the season as you guys get ready to go for the second half.